Well, welcome back to the Rooted Table. We are sitting today on our Zoom meeting. We have Matt and Claire with us from Baywater Seafood. We also have Shelly from Ratano, Jesse with Hands of the Earth, and then myself, Kaylee, of the Honeystead Hands of the Earth. We're kind of all here gathered together to help see this all come into fruition. But we're excited because your scallops are going to be one of the featured courses at the Rooted Table dinner, and very excited to try that because I'm very familiar with Chesapeake Bay scallops. So I think it's going to be delicious.
I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to go through and have we have got a couple of questions. This is going to be a great way for everybody to get to know who you guys are, what you are doing, and just kind of help share and promote and bring everybody up. Okay.
It's nice to meet you guys. Thanks for coming on to the Rooted Table. I'll just start with a little intro and say that we really started this because of small businesses like yours that we're trying to let people know about. So the Rooted Table is really all about farmers helping farmers, because I'm a farmer myself. And no matter what it is that we do in small businesses, and so is Kaylee, and Jess helps us all the time, and she has her own small business. So it really came to fruition that we just couldn't find vendors. And so we thought, we're going to start a dinner where we absolutely introduce your business to all of these potential buyers, but also put you on our website and our YouTube in hopes that we can help one another at no cost to you, and we buy your products and promote them.
So tell us a little bit about your operation. Do you go out and catch fish? Do you have a market? I'm excited because I love coming out to the East Coast and doing a little bit of fishing. And one day we might have to get on a boat, right, Shelly?
I want to get on a boat.
We'd love to have you guys
video that boat.
One day we will do that. But yeah, what are your main what are you guys catching? Tell us a little bit about your business.
We have a old marina that we purchased back in 2020, and it was actually a marina I used as a child. We had a beach house just down the road from it, and so it was owned by somebody else. It was where we used to launch our boat to go fishing. Then it was pretty much abandoned, derelict, and so a friend of mine and I bought it and fixed it up, redid the whole thing, put a new bulkheading, new slips, everything. So now it's a 36 slip marina with Airbnb houseboats. We have a mix of commercial and recreational boats that are there, and so did that, and then started the seafood company. So I guess historically, since I graduated high school in 2000, I started a sod farm. So I grew sod and then started a hydroponic lettuce farm. So did hydroponic vegetables for 20 years, and then sold that company and started a seafood company. So I've just always, like, my heart's always been on the water. And so started this, and we wanted to do something unique, not just another oyster farm or something, so that's where we kind of came up with the concept of the bay scallop. And the bay scallop is a species that is native to this area, to the whole East Coast, but it virtually went extinct. Basically went extinct due to a bunch of factors. There were some storms, there were some diseases, yeah. And so they tried a couple of different efforts to reestablish them. The Virginia Institute of Marine Science has been working on it down in Wachapreak, Virginia. But we're the only ones on the East Coast that are doing it actually commercially now. We're growing them, and so it's a niche market that we're kind of into, and we just love doing that. So we are growing some oysters. Bay scallops is our main focus. So we also have a crabbing license, and so we're doing 300 pots of crab pots and crabbing during the summertime.
No, that is really awesome. I know. I did remember about the bay scallop, so it was exciting to see, that you are helping contribute to their population, which also contributes back to just the whole cleaning of the water too. Everything
Yep.
that I was reading, I was like, wow, it really, you're not only growing, a food source, but you're really helping that aspect of the
Exactly.
water.
Yeah.
So
One
wonderful.
of the coolest parts of our whole operation is that our bay scallops are able to reproduce on their own. So we have 1 million animals out there and they're all able to reproduce. So we're really kind of pushing that natural population back. And it's super exciting. It's almost as exciting as selling the seafood itself.
It is. There,
You know,
we've got oyster farmers kind of up and down that bay, up and down Chincoteague Bay, and crabbers that are finding wild scallops now, like where they've never seen them before. So attached to their crab pots or in their oyster leases.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think anytime you clean up the ecosystem and you're able to contribute, I think that is just
absolutely.
amazing. And so
Yeah.
what you're doing is groundbreaking. And this is exactly the reason that we want to bring things like this to the forefront, because of pioneers like you that are out there really trying to make a difference. That's really what the small farmer does. And we don't
That's right.
want these small farms to go away.
Yeah.
Because look at the
Yeah.
difference that
Yeah.
you've made. Congratulations to you guys. That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
That really is. And I mean, you not only do you have the ability to have, seafood here, but you also ship too.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now you can reach so many more people, which I thought was extremely, I mean, that's going to be huge with the market as well.
Yeah, we were just up in Boston last weekend for the North American Seafood Expo, and we were just there, like kind of auditing it this year.
Mhm.
Hopefully next year we'll be there with the state of Maryland Department of Agriculture. They have something called Maryland's Best, and
Wow.
we want to be that they offer like a reduced price to have a spot at the table and have a booth there. And so, but it was it's a North American Expo, but from all the countries of the world are represented there, and so it's be a really cool opportunity to show our product. And that was one of the things we noticed is that there's really not any bay scallops out there. We're kind of on the bleeding edge of this market. So
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you guys have found that have been your biggest struggle, and not just what you're doing, but finding the consumers to sell your products to?
well, I guess I'll start with the biggest struggle with like even getting started in the business is really state regulations and just the state's inability to get things done in a timely fashion. So it took us 4 years to get a lease approved. And so the way we do it is, so we have to lease bottom of the bay from the state of Maryland, has to be approved by the Army Corps of Engineers. And the state, I think we got into it, of course, during COVID, so that slowed things down. But still, it sat on people's desks for years before it got processed. And I don't know what the backlog is now, but when we were really pushing and trying to get this done, there was at least 80 applications for bottom at the state that were not processed. And so you're talking about multi-million number of oysters or scallops that could be out there filtering the bay. And it's just being held up by, just
logistics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was an extremely frustrating part. Now, the natural resource officers that are out there are great. They're great to work with. They are very helpful. But it's really just like the bureaucrats that are in the offices that are just slowing everything down. So that's been the most frustrating part as far as logistically getting something up and going. And a lot of people ask, like, how do we promote aquaculture in the state? Well, it's very tough to promote it if the state itself is like the hindrance to get somebody into aquaculture. So there needs to be a fix somewhere, whether it's legislatively or, just in the administration. We need to try to speed up that whole process and make it more.
We're dealing with the same thing with agritourism. So it's the same thing. So it's basically they're mirroring one another. We're dealing with, they just don't want to accept that, there should be some variances for us for what we're doing out here. And so they just,
we actually just
you
had
have to study the code and study the code.
We just had a meeting recently that Claire went to that we're trying to push our county to try to accept agritourism and aquaculture tourism, that whole thing, and try to give us some leeway and let us do like shucking demonstrations and tastings and that kind of thing. And the health department, the staff, I mean, they're just like it's tough to get it through their heads.
Yeah. And we're being so close to Ocean City, we have a plethora of tourists almost
Yeah.
year round at this point.
Yeah.
So for us to go into agritourism, which we really want to do, it'd be really cool if we could have a smoother process for sure. Because we love taking, summer camps out and adult learning programs, take them out, just see what it's all about. 'Cause that's really how it's going to take off.
And some states really
Take
embrace it
covers.
too. I mean, there's a model out there for it. Like I see some states that allow you to take people out on a boat and you literally just shuck oysters for them right on the boat and have them taste them, So it's just something like that we need to try to model. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, just model it
Right.
after one that's already working.
I would definitely recommend going. So outside of all of this, agritourism is a huge, I have a huge soft spot on my heart
Mhm.
because that really is how I support my farm. I grow herbs. I'm also a beekeeper, and during COVID, the same thing. I had to basically re-innovate my entire farm operation, and I went when COVID happened and started teaching online, started teaching on YouTube.
Oh, that's great.
And it actually now exceeds farm,
Mhm.
Wow.
it's been a blessing. So agritourism is huge, and it can be huge, and you can also do it online.
That's right. That's true.
Which I
Yeah.
will say definitely do, because people want to learn, and you could reach so many other so
So
much
many more. Yep.
so many
Yep.
more. Yeah,
she's very humble. She has quite a following.
I believe it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. No, we definitely will need to go down that route a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
struggling just to learn half of what she knows, but
I will be happy to share anything of that. If you have ever
Cool.
any,
Yeah.
I'd be happy to share. But on top of that too, I represent our area for our planning and zoning.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I took that commission. I'm a commissionee or commissioner for our area. And we were able to actually add in agritourism to our comprehensive plan, because
Nice.
this is the conversation. Just like, and you're not the only farm. I mean, there are so many other farms that are seeing the value. It's value added.
That's right.
Not
right.
only do you have a product, but you have the education that goes along with it. So I do see a huge movement that is shifting, even with food and food freedom. Things are happening. So
Yes.
don't
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
and just be
Yes.
a big voice for what you're doing. You have to be your biggest fan. Shelley with her winery, I mean, she fights for her winery. I fight for my business. Jessie fights for her business. So you have many people who are in your same shoes, and I think it's just getting our voice out there. And
I agree. And I think it's really coming together. And that again is what the table is about. It's making awareness
Mhm.
that you
Mhm.
are there and that you're not alone. And it's
Yep.
not just for us to get customers, but it's also so that we can support one another. Because I have always said, with the small micro farms and small farms, if they go away, so does our health. This isn't just
sure.
about
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
isn't just about our business. This is about fighting for the health of the rest of our nation.
Right?
Yeah.
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 no, I'm excited. I'm gonna have to make a trip. So,
Yeah.
let's
I
go.
want to get on the boat. That's what I want to do. Shuck an
Yeah.
Come down and
oyster
stay
on
stay
the
up
Shelly
on
on
the
the boat.
Airbnbs. Yeah.
You have to
That'd be
meet me
awesome.
to know why they're laughing, because I'm so clumsy. I'm going to end up in the water. I think I'm a good swimmer.
So with the seafood, with what you're doing, what's your favorite thing to enjoy? Whether it's, do you do shuck your oysters raw? Do you,
Mhm.
what's your favorite?
Gosh.
I mean, for me, it's honestly just sharing kind of like our area with the people that come down to visit, whether they're just people stopping by to buy some oysters or scallops, or whether they're staying on the houseboats. But I get to teach them about the area, teach them about the history of the area, the Native Americans that live down there, and why everything's named what it is, and then show them like everything that just is like kind of unique to our little corner of the world, you know.
Yeah, I have to say the same, but geared a little bit more towards our youth, I guess. We
Aw.
partner a lot with the Maryland Coastal Bays program. So they'll bring
Wow.
some students down and we'll kind of show them, everything that we do. And it's so nice to
Yay.
introduce somebody to a whole new concept they've never heard of. It's really rewarding for me.
But one of the funniest things is how many people don't realize that a scallop is something that grows in a shell.
I
A
didn't
lot
know
of people
that.
just I don't know what they thought it was, just this piece of meat that was floating out there in the ocean or something like that. But actually showing them, because we just recently did an event. It was for the Restaurant Association in Ocean City, and even there we had people ask us, and these were restaurant people, asked us where we got our little dishes from, and they thought the shell was a little dish that we had put the scallop in. So it's but just like being able to teach people and show people this kind of stuff,
It's been a lot of education.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's so worth it. And we definitely love to present the scallop, when it's for consuming with that shell still underneath of it. So you can really see where it comes from, just how beautiful and unique each shell is.
Yeah.
It really makes a great presentation. It really connects you closer to what the food is instead of just handing it to you on a plate.
Yeah, we kind of make fun of clams now because clams are just like a clam, but these are just these are like snowflakes, they're just each one's different.
Oh, you have to make sure that you send us all this for your marina and your boats, because we love to support those as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We
Yeah,
will.
I am on the website and I see the food and the products, but I don't see the houseboats. Is that a separate? is
So
that a
they
different
would,
link?
gosh, I think I may have put them on there. They're on Airbnb.
Oh, okay, okay.
If I've connected them directly we have a Baywater Landing website too, which is kind of just like marina based.
Yeah, the marina is actually called Baywater Landing,
Okay.
and then Baywater Seafood is like one of the entities there. Yeah.
Got it.
I am very excited about that because I was just talking to a good friend of mine about how I want to sneak my husband away and go somewhere. And I think
That's perfect.
we are
Perfect
gonna
little vacation. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's most of our inquiries.
Yeah,
Like,
I would like to
surprising
do
my
that.
significant other.
That's gonna be beautiful. Now, do you work with, do you have like a local FFA in your area too, like with kids? That could be a good avenue.
We don't, it's interesting for as agricultural as our area is, there's not a big FFA like presence here. The Maryland Farm Bureau is pretty active. And so the Farm Bureau is kind of like what the FFA kind of like takes the place of that in this area. But there's really not. Yeah, but we have some school groups that come down during the summer, like a few different whether it's Worcester County schools or the Salisbury School. They'll come down and do trips, and we get to teach them and show them, how we shed soft crabs and how we clean the oysters and clean the scallops and all that stuff. So
Or actually, if I can get get the name of it up, we are starting this new thing. If I can find it. It's with the Maryland Coastal Bays program. It's an environmental literacy program.
Yeah.
I believe I forget what her actual the Maryland Environmental Literacy Advisory Network. So this is something new that they're starting up, and we actually kind of already got our feet wet with it. We went to Snow Hill High School, like right in our town that we grow, and went and showed them our oysters and how to dissect an oyster and where they grow, how they grow, what's inside. So we're linking up with them to kind of start this whole new network of environmental literacy with them. So hopefully we reach a lot more students.
That's really cool. Do you also do anything with your oyster shells afterwards, or do you give them back?
We do a few different things. The main thing we're doing right now is grinding them up to use as clutch for our baby oysters, which is the spat, because they need something to attach to. oysters don't go anywhere. They're pretty sedentary once they're set. So we'll use those individual little flakes. Oyster will sit on them and they'll grow with that one flake. So we'll use those a lot. We grind them up for
Chickens, we sell
Chicken. Oh, yeah.
chicken. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Chickens.
Yep.
Yeah, we bag it up and sell it as a chicken.
Supplement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also the Oyster Recovery Project, ORP. They collect oyster shells from all the restaurants and then dump it back out in the Chesapeake Bay and use that on their reefs out there. And so we partner with them we actually do an event with them every year up in Baltimore.
The World is Your Oyster.
Yeah. Yeah. It's their biggest like fundraising event.
Yeah.
So they collect all the shells there.
That's cool. That's really cool that you have, there's such a diversity and it's not waste and you can
That's right.
recycle. Love that. Absolutely love that. So any other questions between the ladies or?
No, I think you're doing great work. I'm very excited, and
Thank you.
I'm so glad that Jess, brought you to the table. And I think
We're so glad to be here.
I think you're going to offer just so much. If you know of any other small farms that really need some notoriety and need to be known, that's what this YouTube channel is about. That is what the dinner is about. And anytime that you want to come up this way, we would love to have you as our guest at the table.
Oh,
And you can join the
Yeah.
rooted table as well. I know that it's hard for small businesses to get away, but you can join the table just so you get the information by going to the Ritano website
Okay.
and join the rooted table. That way, every month, even the people, right now we have a 3-month waiting list to sit at the table.
That's great.
And we're hoping to grow more and larger once we get our base with YouTube. With these two girls that are doing it with me, it's not me that's techie. They make us all look good. But we would love to have you at the table, and we really, really appreciate it. And I know they're going to enjoy what you send us.
Oh, good. I
That'd be
hope so.
awesome. Yeah.
But I'm
How often do you guys do the
boat.
dinners?
I'm coming to the boat.
Yeah.
Yes, please do. That'd be so cool. Have you guys down.
So are you doing this once a month?
Once
the
a
dinners?
month.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Once
Very
a month.
cool.
We've got our
Awesome.
work cut out for us, but it's what I believe in. And
Yeah.
Jess brings this all to fruition. She's the one that schedules all this. She orders all this. She makes, and then Kaylee does all the video, and I just stand here and look pretty on the Zooms.
I know. I'm just over here. I'm like,
I like doing this.
just over here taking notes.
Great.
The other thing that we're going to do is at every single dinner, the scallops are going to be kind of featured as a recipe. And so we're taking it and doing like an ebook. So
Nice.
every single
Nice.
dinner will have an ebook. It's going to feature you guys. It's going to feature your business. And then after that, we're going to have the recipe that we're going to offer, which the scallops are going to be featured with a watercress soup.
Oh,
And
okay.
we'll have the floating scallop in the center. Absolutely amazing. This is like a
That's cool.
childhood soup that I grew up
Wow.
with. My mom is actually going to help join and help with the cooking on this. But
I
so
can't
the
wait to see
cooking-
pictures of that. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be delicious, and I'm really looking forward to trying it, trying your scallops, and I am 100% going to be booking in your
Awesome.
Airbnb.
Yeah, me too.
I know. I can't wait to
I'm gonna be.
We could have a work trip. Come on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, just
And
Yeah.
you can just contact Claire. You don't need to go through
Yeah.
Airbnb. You can
our
just-
work number. You can call or text me. I can get you booked and
Oh,
avoid
good.
those Airbnb fees.
Yes. I know.
Get
Aren't
that
they horrible? I have them myself, and it's horrible. They've
Yeah.
gotten horrible.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's so expensive.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to talking to you guys, and I can't wait to send you the information and let you see the video. And then we're going to do a yearly cookbook too.
Okay.
Once we
Awesome.
get through the whole year, that will feature all the farms that sat at the
That's
table.
awesome.
And you'll be a part of that as well. So please make sure to join the Rooted Table so you get all the information and you get those emails.
Okay.
Awesome.
Will do.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just for anybody who is watching, if you are interested in following Matt and Claire's adventures with what they're doing out on the East Coast, you can find them. I'll put the link to Baywater Seafood down below so you can kind of track and see what they're doing. And we'll also share on all the medias. So we will keep everybody posted. But yeah, I'm really glad you guys joined us at the rooted table, even though we're virtual. At one point, at some point, we're going to actually sit down and
We'll be at the same table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you guys. I hope you have a good day.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Everybody have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Before,
Oh,